Hi, this is Martha Wilson from Greatness in Government. Since we've recently been talking about emotional freedom technique or tapping, you may have heard it also referred to as EFT, I wanted to take a minute and make a quick video for you in case you're not familiar with tapping and not quite sure that you're doing it right based on the conversation that we had over the telephone. So wanted to show you how to tap and where the tapping points are, and also give you a quick tip on how you can use tapping discreetly in the middle of those emotion charged situations, like that contentious meeting or that tough conversation you need to have with your boss or your colleagues. So first of all, tapping points. Quick review, we are using acupuncture points. These are points where the nerves come together and it sends the stress response signal through the body. So by tapping lightly on these points, we can take some of the energy out of that stress response, out of that fight, flight, or freeze response that you can feel just running through your nervous system. This will take some of the energy out of that and give you access to the conscious, logical, reasonable part of your brain, so you can actually choose your reaction in a moment instead of being stuck in reactivity. So first things first, if you are familiar with EFT or tapping and you already have a set of tapping points that you like to use, go ahead and use those. No worries, you really cannot do this wrong. These are the points that I like to use, that I have found simplest, easiest, most effective for me. So the first one I like to use is what we call the eyebrow point. It's this point at the end of your eyebrow, right where your eyebrow comes towards your nose. You can use 2 or 3 fingers to lightly tap on that point. And you can use one hand, the other hand, or both hands. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whatever feels good for you. So this is the eyebrow point. The next point I like to use is the side of the eye. It's this bony ridge right here at the corner of your eye. It's not back on your temple, but right there on that bony ridge, tapping lightly. Under the eye is the next point, also on that bony ridge, right underneath the eye, right on the bony ridge. Under the nose, it's this little bit in between your nose and your lip, under the nose. The chin point is, again, in that little crease between your lower lip and the place where your chin bumps out. That's the chin point. Then we have the collarbone point. One of the easiest ways to find the collarbone point is to pretend like you're a gentleman wearing a tie and place your hand over your tie. Where your fingers land is the collarbone point. It's just below the bone of the collarbone. If you're a little concerned about hitting that point, you can just use your whole flat hand. So your fingers are on the collarbone on this side and your thumb is on the collarbone on the other side. Again, you can use either hand, doesn't matter, same place, either side, whatever works for you. And the last point that I like to use is the top of the head. I like to use about 4 fingers or even the flat hand to get the top of the head point. It's right in the center of your head, and if you want to sort of move around a little bit just to make sure you get it, that works too. So those are the common tapping points that I like to use. Again, you can't do this wrong. I like to tap when I'm walking, and when I'm walking, I'm wearing my sunglasses. So obviously getting to these points is tough when I have sunglasses on. So if I'm tapping while I'm walking, I might just do under the nose, the chin, the collarbone, and the top of the head. So pick what works for you. Now, I said I was going to give you a discreet tip so that you could use tapping in the middle of those emotional situations if you don't really feel comfortable, tapping on your face or in the middle of that. After all, it does look a little funny. I get it, trust me. So you have tapping points on your hand that you can also use. One of the most common that you may have heard of is the karate chop point. Right here on the outside edge of the hand, and you can tap it lightly with the fingers of the other hand, or you can even tap them together. you also have a few other points on your hand. So if you were to hold your hand out like this, you have a tapping point on what I call the inside edge of the fingers, right there beside the nail bed, right on the edge of the finger. Now the truth is, there are only 4 points on the 5 fingers. It's pinky, middle finger, index finger, and the thumb. If you can't remember which finger's not included, just do them all. You're not going to hurt anything. But the great thing about having these tapping points on your hand is, let's say you are sitting in a meeting. You can have your hands quietly in your lap. I'm going to lift mine up so you can see them. And you can just tap through the points as the meeting is going on. If you're getting ready to make your presentation, you're getting ready to say something. Let's say you feel a comment welling up. You know it needs to be said, but you're feeling that stress response about saying it, and it's interfering with your ability to phrase what you need to say and express yourself in a way that other people can hear it. You can tap lightly through these points as you're preparing to make the statement. Continue tapping lightly as you're speaking. It will help keep the emotional stress, energy out of that comment and allow you to calmly express what needs to be said. So that is a quick overview of tapping. As we work together one-on-one or even together in a group program, we'll talk specifically about the phrases that are appropriate for you in your situation. But these are the tapping points for now. So again, Martha Wilson, Greatness in Government, and look forward to working with you and bringing this more into your work. Take care.